So they came through.
So awesome.
Came through.
You be making I'm gonna start calling you Moses.
See the city skyline.
Making miracles happen.
What you been doing? Just working a little bit, trying to do them errands and stuff like that.
You look cute now. You better be out here looking good.
You're so sweet. This is my like uncomfortable clothes.
Living your best life.
Yes.
Oh, you know something, son? If you wanted another chair, there's one right here.
Mm-hmm.
That stool, there's a chair.
Get something.
Okay.
In the other room?
Yeah. Perfect. We are up
I'm not gonna be crunching ice.
already.
All right.
Oh, you live?
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, I was saying that we're
That's
gonna
right.
continue.
It's gonna be
continue to do these
organic.
Organic opens.
All right then. Let's be organic.
Like Whole Foods. We just won't charge as much.
Right.
No. Okay. Get you guys to sit in your chairs for me real quick.
Okay. Right
How
here.
do you want us? You want us on the
On the end,
ends?
I'm gonna try that.
Okay. Make sure I can get up here with these shoes.
Get right. Get my. Okay. And the. Just making sure this is stable because remember we had to
Oh
reach.
shit! Thank you. That's
We had
all
to
right.
reach.
It's my fault. Okay.
Hold
Nope.
it.
It's good. Okay.
Right.
All right. We up in this
Testing.
thing. Testing.
Like-
Got them fresh
like-
hot peach.
Them hot peach shells.
Right here.
Oh, hey, that's
So cute.
No.
I can't take it.
That's so funny.
Right.
Like those curls.
Thank you, Pumpkin. I'm embracing the natural,
There you
you
go.
know? Giving it a break. Giving it a break.
That's what I'm talking
That's why I
about.
got my workout pants.
Mm-hmm.
Look good.
Mm-hmm. Reclaiming my time like Maxine Waters, be it my curls, my spandex. There's a myriad of ways that you can be comfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm. Because why else? Why else the hell not? You know, we'll be trying to knock folk off they square all the time, but we ain't gonna let them. Mm-mm. We ain't gonna let 'em. Holding down.
All right, we're up there.
All right. Look like we cooking with gas. It's all bright and beautiful in here. Bright, beautiful. All right, how you feeling?
I feel
You, feeling-
good.
you should be nervous.
Why?
Because it's us, damn it.
Oh God.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Okay.
Coffee. All right. Well, cool. Let me put on my headphones. Make sure I can hear too. All right. That's the right and the left.
You laughing already, Steve.
I
I
know.
know. I know. Yes.
I love that we have that effect on you.
Yeah, you do.
There we go.
Thank the Lord for that.
Why do my headphones always dislike me? Okay. That's all right.
Is it just one of the channels is out? One of the
Probably, but that's okay. It's working now. If I'm
Okay.
trying, yes, it's working now. But it's never mind. Anyway,
You want to gently guide the plane in?
yes,
Oh my God.
yes, I would.
Right here.
Okay, cool.
She's trying to guide it in, man.
Bring it on in.
I appreciate you. Okay, cool. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of the DEUXLUXE podcast show. I am the Luxe Lisbon.
And I'm Katie Luxe.
We are a part of Square Media Network, who also hosts Unapologetically Black with LaWanna Mayfield and The Project with Steve Rutherford.
Hello.
We would like to delve, get subterranean
Oh Lord.
with the founder, the man,
The myth. The legend.
the unicorn. And that is Steve Rutherford.
Hey, ladies.
Hey. Yes. We thought it would be, we were especially interested in doing this show because we are enamored by your acumen, by your determination,
Yes.
by your dedication to bring Black voice
Right.
to the masses. And so we just wanted to find out, how you got your start, where you are right now in the middle, and what you see going forward.
Okay.
Right. So,
Well, first of all, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say yes. I think that it's just fitting that we take us all the way back to, for those who don't know who Steve Rutherford
Oh,
is.
you want to go back that far?
yeah,
I'm
let's
just
go
saying-
all the way back.
Oh, wow.
You
Give
can
the
go-
people what they want.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Sure. Well, first of all, I mean, what do you think about all this?
Yeah, our setup is nice.
Isn't it kinda cool?
The thing is y'all, like, it's a beautiful day. Like, we got some light breaking gently through the window. What light through yonder window breaks? So,
I felt that coming. This is a setup.
Word. So yeah, I like it. We will change up every now and again depending on the situation. We gotta be ambidextrous,
And
if you will.
agile.
Hello, I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Nimble.
Yeah.
I like that. So we just move around when we have, a guest who has maybe some media they want to display. Also, depending on the mood, we may
That's
have the
true.
curtains drawn or we may have them wide open.
Yep.
Just depends on how we feeling.
So, all right, to answer your question,
Yes.
you want to go deep, way back. Born and raised here in Gaston County.
Okay.
Went to South Point High School. Then from there, went to A&T,
Aggie pride.
but for only one semester.
Oh.
So you only get Aggie?
That's all. That's all I get. That's all I get.
All right.
You pay
And,
tuition
that
though.
counts.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just, for me, I grew tired quickly of it, only because of who I was, really. And right after that, I joined the Navy, stayed in the Navy for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
While I was in, I did intelligence work.
Oh.
So I knew about, for instance, like Bin Laden before everybody knew about Bin Laden. I knew about a bunch of stuff, but that was just my world. And I went from ship to ship to ship. I love being out at sea, so it wasn't very helpful when it came to relationships. So I went through quite a few of those.
Oh, okay. So
But-
you was a gigolo back in the day, Steve.
I love to be at sea.
Nick Cannon, where you at
Oh,
when we
my
need
God.
to play
Oh,
that
my God.
gigolo?
Oh no.
You was a gigolo. Go ahead, old brother.
I just love.
Uh-huh.
I love being out at sea. I'm telling. That's
Oh,
what it
okay.
was.
That's a one way to put it. You love being out at sea.
I think we're gonna close this show and thank you for watching. No.
Okay, my bus.
And
Okay, all right.
before I retired, I was in Charleston, South Carolina. Before I retired, probably about 2 years before I retired, and I'm giving you the long, short version. I became president of the NAACP in Charleston.
What?
Then I was chairman of the United Negro College Fund in Charleston.
Listen.
Yeah, and I was one of them.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Super Mighty Show, we work here. And y'all, we didn't know that.
No.
We work here. We like, under this tutelage.
But no, I said he got secret.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, no, better yet,
You did.
he got money that we don't know about, so we
You
got to
did.
discover the origins.
Oh Jesus!
We got to discover
Okay.
the origins.
Oh.
All right, then.
That
NAACP president.
Yeah.
United Negro College Fund
Yeah.
president.
Yeah.
All right.
I was one of the ones who was instrumental in bringing the, at least starting the conversation about bringing the flag down in South Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
We in the
That's
presence
what
of greatness.
Greatness.
I knew, but I didn't know. You know.
But if I could just touch the hem
That's fine.
of your garment.
Okay. The hem
We
of the
appreciate you.
Oh my God.
We appreciate you.
So I retired, and then I couldn't stay president of the NAACP because the job I got into after that was in broadcasting. So I did not have a background in journalism, but because I was always on the news as president of the NAACP, they thought I sounded good, and I guess they thought I looked okay. They wanted to know if I would want a job in TV. I said, yeah, sure.
I'm sorry.
And-
Don't just skim over that.
What?
They thought you looked okay.
Well,
You
yeah.
know you handsome, Steve.
Okay, I'm a handsome
There
guy.
you go. All right. Okay. Okay.
He just brushed his shoulders off before he
Exactly.
sat down.
Just a little. But
Put all them Easter eggs in your basket.
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So I did that for 2.5 years in Charleston, 2.5 years here in Charlotte. Here in Charlotte, I was at the NBC affiliate. Then I grew tired of it. I'm like, I just can't keep doing it. It wasn't me. And I left that with full intentions of getting a job. Had my resume done, sent that thing out. Nothing came back. You got to be kidding me. Look at this damn resume.
Right.
And but nothing ever came back. And I said, well, let me just start shooting some documentaries. So I shot 3. One was, God, why can't I think of the one main doc I did? JC's in it. I can't even think of it.
What was it about? Was it about the
Poets.
slam scene?
No.
Okay, the poetry
Yeah.
slam scene. Right?
But I followed those guys for like 8 months, 7, 8 months or so, and I put that doc together. And then there's another doc on at the time, the only black-owned art gallery in town. She's since left. And the third one was about black motorcycle clubs in Charlotte. So I did those 3. And somebody from B of A saw the one doc I did on the art gallery, and they said, "Hey, could you do something like this for us?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So that's how I got into the corporate thing, and so I've been doing corporate stuff ever since that time.
We didn't know that either. So
Yeah.
you do corporate media?
Yeah,
What do you
media
do?
production work.
Okay.
So they'll call me,
Okay.
like I got a call
Yes.
today, and
Yo. Where's the spoon? We got you.
really,
We had no idea. We were like, yo, we don't ask no questions.
hey, Len, do me a favor, over here on this mixer, just go all the way. There's 3 that are turned up. No.
The ones at the bottom, the gray ones.
The board. See those 3 knobs that are up? Yeah, right there. Wait. Only take the first one down. A little bit more right there. Okay.
Look at that.
I think that's just
Yeah, okay.
stay there for a minute though.
Directing.
I forgot that this one is almost always louder than everybody else.
Oh.
That sounds so much better. Just cut her out. So thank
You
you,
gotta
Len.
put a
Appreciate
sock
it.
over your mic.
You don't say it, goddamn.
So got into the corporate world, and I did a lot of stuff with B of A. I mean, all the corporate folks in town, and but it was everything from a one-off interview with a CEO to big production stuff. And what I mean by that is we did the graduations for Johnson C. Smith for 5 or 6 years, something like that. So we had to provide all of the sound and the lighting and the cameras and everything. So we did that for 5 or 6 years, and now I'm doing it for Benedict College. That's when I went down to Columbia. Yeah.
Word.
So, so anyway, I had really 3 major clients that kept the company afloat, and then I got through 08, got through 2013, but 2016 rolled around, and that's when I started getting hammered. One of the major clients pulled out, tried to get another one, nothing happened. The second one pulled out. So it left the company in a deficit. It was just not doing well at all. But, listen, anybody who's an entrepreneur knows you're going to have ups and downs. It's like a roller coaster. The easiest thing to do is to quit.
Yes.
That's the easiest thing.
easy.
The hardest thing to do is to stay in there to try to figure something out.
Yes.
Now, check this out.
What's up?
2017, my wife, I love her to death, took me, we went to the Bahamas, went to that Steve Harvey thing or whatever it was. And I was on by some huge ass yacht. I'm like, that would be dope as shit to be on a big ass yacht like that. And I started, as I call it, having my conversation with God, right? I said, okay, dude, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, but you got to give me something. And the moment I said that, all this stuff began to flood into my noggin, all of this information. And I'm like, all I kept saying was, oh, right. Long story short, I get back and I started shooting a promo for a show. But it didn't feel right. And I'm like, this is not the one. And I let it go. So I sat on this all these ideas for about a year until November of 2018. Is that right? Yeah, 2018. And I got a friend of mine, Larissa Thompson. She's my PR person. And she said, let's do a show together. She did. We did the very first show, The Project. And she immediately said right after that show, she's like, Steve, look, you got to open this thing up to more than just entrepreneurs. I said, okay, fine. So January rolled around. We had 4 shows. And we just said we're going to do it every Thursday at 7 p.m. Okay, fine. Black History rolls around. I'm like, I got to do more than that. So we ended up doing 16 shows. Women's History Month. Y'all just showed out. It was 27 shows for the month of April. And so that's what really put the project on the map. And of course, out of the project came YouTube, which is phenomenal because of that lady sitting right over there.
Yes. Look at that coming
Can
full
we just
circle.
give a shout out to Lynn's son?
Lynn's
Yes.
son Rising.
Lynn's son
Yes.
is
Rising.
dope, man. Yeah,
Our
she's
teacher,
dope.
our community leader,
Yeah.
our chef, our whatever, she just like Visa. She everywhere you want to be, man. You know what I'm saying?
Truly.
That's so
appreciate you.
true.
We
Yes,
appreciate
thank you. So, but yeah, I met you guys through Linson, and listen, it's been. I knew shortly after I got there, probably not until February. I'm like, this is what I've got to do. I got to take this and turn it. But I did not. There's no damn way in this world I wanted to try to do all of this myself. I'm like, there's no way. But I knew I wanted to have the right shows.
Yes.
And when Lynn Sunrising told me about you guys, I said, hey, okay, sure. And but I honestly thought you guys already had your show together.
Yeah, it was in production.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
in production.
And the day you guys came on, I said, yeah, I got to get them. And that's why I said right after, I'm like, listen, you guys got to think about it. Give us some thought. Let me know. And so you hit me back, what, a week or so
yeah.
later?
24 hours.
Yeah. I was like, thank you for being gracious and saying a week, because I was like, damn, I think it was faster than that. Did we get out of the parking lot, Chris?
Oh, well, you know what? I think on our way home, I was like, he likes us. He likes us. Watch what I tell you. We gonna get a show, dog.
Because that's my clairvoyant right there. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Yeah, she really does be seeing some
I be
stuff,
seeing
you know
some- I
what
do,
I mean?
I do.
But
I
yeah,
know
she
some
did,
stuff.
yeah. But we were very
It was a good
appreciative
fit, though.
of that. It was a good fit. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
somebody
absolutely.
holding space for, women's empowerment. I
Yep.
mean, we thought that was powerful in and of itself.
Right.
There's not a space for us, or we're often silenced or, dumbed down, diluted. And you did hold space for not just us, but like you said, it was 27 shows for that month.
yeah.
And I mean, that made you a busy man, though.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have like a 9 to 5 right now, and then you're doing this
No.
network? Tell us about that.
There's no 9 to 5, and I'm lucky that I don't have one, because I couldn't do this and a 9 to 5 too, or it would be really difficult to do that. Listen. I tried to get a 9 to 5. I'm like, come on, people. I'm a hell of a project manager. Look at my damn credentials. Look at this shit. But no, I would get phone calls. I would get these phone interviews, and it would not go beyond that. I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me. So I just said, okay, fine, fuck it. And what do you do? I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I think that what I am doing right now is exactly what I should be doing.
Yes.
And I completely identify with that, because
You
I
know,
went through the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Same
crazy.
thing.
So I love. Here's the whole thing about Square Media. Well, do I need to explain how I got into that?
No, I mean, I got questions, but you kind of, because this is what you do,
Yeah.
you kind of, this is like one of those breakaway truck ramps you see when you're driving in West Virginia. You
Yep.
just went on head up the
That's
ramp.
true. That's true.
We appreciate you, giving us just the keys to the city, but we're going to let you roll with how you want to roll, and then, like, we got questions.
We'll interject.
Yeah, we got questions.
Oh, Jesus. But yeah, I mean, listen, Square Media started because I recognized there was not a venue, there was not a place, there was not anything that we could go to and talk about stories that mattered to us. Let me clarify us. I'm talking about all people of color. It's just not listen, there's a lot of, I think for Women's History Month, my first guests were two women from India, phenomenal women. They talked about discrimination, they talked about issues, they talked about different things. So I definitely wanted a network where everybody could come on and talk about things that bother them, things that they like, some things that they don't like. I mean, here it is, and the thing of it is, you've got more than 5 minutes to talk about it. This is not WFAE where you have to be controlled in what you're saying. If you feel like saying fuck it, you can say fuck it. We're not controlled by the FCC. We're all controlled by YouTube, but they're pretty open when it comes to those kinds of things. So I wanted to make sure that people could come on the show and really talk about things that they wanted to talk about, however they wanted to talk about it. That's what I really wanted to do. So, again, there's the project is the one that kind of kicked it off. Deluxe Podcast Show, you guys have taken it and or taken your show, and it's still, all these shows are unscripted. They're an open format show. You bring people on your show that they can talk about whatever they want to, which is great. I do have some other shows coming up that are going to be timed, and they're going to be specific in what they're going to be talking about, but that's going to be a little bit later.
That's what's up.
But it was important to me that people can come on and talk about these different things. So
Yes.
that's why I wanted to make it happen.
Word, we appreciate you.
Yeah.
We really do appreciate you. So I feel like, Katie Lux, I'm going to throw it to you just in case I'm commandeering the conversation.
No, not at all. So, talk to me a little bit about just, again, Square Media Network. Like, what is your vision for the network as a whole? Like, where do you see it going? And as you're putting these puzzle pieces together,
Right.
like, give me a synopsis of what the movie is gonna look like at the end when the credits start.
Okay, yeah. No, listen,
Yeah.
I've seen that movie many times. And here's my vision for Square Media. When it's fully running, it is still completely online. You pick up your phone, you can watch whatever, or you can just whatever it is. But I want it to be a place where at 7 p.m., let's just say the project is on. 8 o'clock, Deluxe is on. 9 o'clock, Unapologetically Black is on. And then after that, it's going to be more shows. In other words, we're going to have 24/7 shows.
I could dig it. So we we are like in advanced version of, like, do y'all remember Current TV? Do you remember Current
Vaguely.
TV? Yeah, it was like the first type of, it's kind of like Viceland. Where it's
Okay.
just,
I love
but
Viceland.
Yo, me too. But this was
Ooh.
like early on. It's I think Al Gore, is it Al Gore who owned the network? But it was really like at the birth of like podcasts or web, the little
Right.
the editorials or little documentaries and stuff, and where people could just be people, and it was 24 hours a
Yeah.
day, little news, little human interest,
Right.
a whole bunch of things just spliced together.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's kind of the vision that you're carving out for Square
Yeah.
Media also.
Yep.
And I want to, on the converse, just go back.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back because what I find interesting, or what I would find interesting, is finding out, like, your pathology, right? How did you even get here where you are? So I'm going to go back and trace your steps. So when you were young Steve,
Right.
like prepubescent Steve, adolescent Steve,
Mm-hmm.
like were your interests always in, community leading, journalism, public relations? Like what interested you when you were younger?
What I wanted to do when I was a kid was filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go to L.A. and go to school and blah, blah, blah. And my parents, being very traditional parents, were dream killers, so that didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're going to go to school and get your degree in business. Okay, fine, whatever. That didn't happen either. But what was still in me was this thing to be involved in this industry, the arts, the broadcast, the networking, whatever you want to call it. I still had that thing within me, and so I couldn't let it go. I listen. I look back sometimes, and I really wish I could have gone to film school in L.A. I mean, there's no telling where I would be right now. But again, I always tell myself that I'm on the path that I should be on.
Yes.
If I were not, this probably wouldn't be. We wouldn't be talking right now. We wouldn't. We may not know each other, but this is the path that I'm on. So I'm taking this path, and I'm going to run with it and make it happen. I'm sorry. Did I answer your damn question?
You answered my question. Yes,
Okay.
It was perfect. There are no right or wrong answers. It's not the spoon that bends, it's you.
Ooh, wow. That. Oh, wow. That is some Matrix shit. Right?
Right.
Whoa.
You're right.
Yes, it is. Yes,
It is the spoon that bends. Wow. Okay.
So what about the name? How did you arrive at Square, SQAIR?
AIR. Well, I'm really good / bad at taking a word and dissecting it. I like the word square, and I was playing with logos, and I liked, putting something in a square, right? And I'm like, I forgot what name I came up with initially, but it was in a box. I'm like, wait a minute, damn thing's in a square. I'm like, scratch that name. Let's call it Square. And of course, when I try to do the search for a what am I thinking? A URL. There was that name was gone. Square. The traditional way of spelling it was gone. And I'm like, Square, 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 Air. I'm like, SQ, Air, AIR. I'm like, Square. So that's how I came up with Square. The spelling of it. So
Yeah,
I'll break up words a lot.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Some etymology. I like that.
And it's memorable. It's memorable.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It is. You mentioned, and as your shirt reflects, also that you were militarized.
Oh, yeah.
So can you tell me, you seem like a pretty liberal type of dude,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're very I'm saying, up with people, down with the man type of
I know.
situation.
What the hell was I doing in the Navy,
No,
right?
and I mean, really, like, where did I know you said you did a semester? Because sometimes it'd be like, oh, well, shit, I guess I'll join the military. And I mean, I said, oh, Katie Lux, the same thing. She was in the military too. And I'm like, you in the military? Really? It just baffles me. So I
Right.
just want to know, like, what made you decide to join the Navy of all the branches anyway,
Yeah.
instead of like the Air Force or something? Yeah, what happened? Tell me.
Because as a kid, I saw a photograph of my dad who was in the Navy.
Ah.
I'm like, kids, that's what I want to do when I grow up. So that, of course, stuck with me.
Yes.
And when it was time, when I was kind of fed up with school, I'm like, let me just join the Navy, and I joined the Navy. But here's the thing: most of my close Navy friends will tell you that I have always been the one that even bucked that system. I found things that if people were being treated unfairly, I'm like, that shit ain't happening. Nope, sorry. So I was doing that then. I've always, and I don't know where that came from. I really don't know. But I never liked the idea of people being mistreated. Again, especially people of color. It doesn't mean I won't take up for some white dude or white woman. I'll take up for anybody. But I don't like those people who are, they just abuse their power. They abuse the system. And they know that they can abuse it. And they're okay with it. That kind of shit I do not like at all.
So
Sorry.
it sounds like you've always had this advocacy ingrained
Yeah.
in you.
Yeah.
And this is an extension of that by allowing people with their voice, however they want to use it, to come and have a platform to share it with the masses.
Yeah, well, yeah. This is when I'm not sure when the light bulb went off in terms of when I figured out I could actually use this platform for that. When I say platform, I mean YouTube. But it dawned on me at some point that I'm not constrained by the FCC. Oh, I know what it was. I know exactly what it was. I was watching Joe Rogan Experience. And I'm like, he's saying some crass, off-the-wall bullshit.
Yes.
And I'm like, his stuff is lasting for his podcast lasts for
Hours.
hours.
Yes.
And I'm like, I like that. So that helped me kind of formulate what we're doing, right now.
Yeah.
Listen, my goal is, and I work on this goal as often as I possibly can, but that is to get the right people behind these microphones talking about the right things.
I think you've been pretty successful at doing that.
Well, I've got a few more I'm looking at.
I mean, I feel you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know that this ain't over.
No,
Oh,
no,
this is
no,
not the beginning.
no.
We got plenty of time to go ahead and crack the code.
Oh yeah, for sure, sure.
And so I guess, Steve, for those who don't know the project, your own show,
Right.
what is the premise there? And what do you focus on? And when you're looking at bringing people on as guests, what is the criteria that you're measuring them by?
Here's the thing. I invite people on that are some people would call heavy hitters. At least I try to anyway, because I want to provide them with that platform where they can talk about whatever. And in fact, I had the mayor of Gastonia, somebody else was on the show, and but he was talking, and I said, stop for a second, stop. I'm really good about saying that shit too. I'm like, stop. Because what you're saying right there is a bunch of bullshit. I'm like, I want you to be real and just tell me exactly what you're trying to do. I forgot who that person was. Smudgy Mitchell, somebody. But again,
Throwing no dirt on my name. Shit. Go ahead though.
but the purpose for the show is I want to bring people that many times you may see on the 6 o'clock news. On the 6 o'clock news, they've got 15 seconds. Here, you've got unlimited time. And I want you to talk about it. And if I don't think you're talking about it, if I think you're being guarded, I'm going to tell you that you're being guarded. Like, why? For what? Here's an open format show. Perhaps you're being guarded because you have a job to think about. You have a family to think about. You have constituents to think about. Then if your whole life is guarded, then why are you in that seat?
Listen, when I was doing my residency, that was one thing that I learned, and that was that there is function and dysfunction, right?
Yeah.
And people are attracted to like what you have to say because of the fidelity of your story, you know? And
Yeah.
so for people to be guarded and have this like Paul Lawrence Dunbar type of we wear the mask situation, I mean, you can see where that's gotten us, or like how do you feel going through life being a fraud or a farce, you know?
Right.
So I appreciate the fact that you're providing a platform for people to be able to be their honest, genuine, organic selves. But just in that vein, also, I know, Katie Lux and I talk all the time just about how much of a genuine person we feel like you are. And how we're very grateful and thankful for this opportunity. And I know you're going to be modest male like you've been being. I'm like, damn, we've been working for royalty up in here. Katie Lux, we didn't even know. We should be goddamn sweeping out the caboose.
No.
But you know what I mean? Like, how do you continue to keep your sensibilities, right? Like your, genuine care, concern, your heart, to be one of Lynn's son's friends that she introduced me to, Beth, said, a shiny-hearted person. How do you continue to be that in this type of industry?
You mean the broadcast industry?
Broadcasting industry, or just the business industry, because there's a lot of sharks out here circling in the water.
My heart is humbled. And let me just kind of share this with you too. I remember, and this is why I love the sea so much, but I remember going out to sea one time, and it didn't matter what ship it is, but I went out on the deck of the ship, and the water was as smooth and still as glass. I'm like, and I said, that was one of my moments, I'm like, that's God. That is God. And let me clarify something too. God can be many things. I don't have a Baptist God. I don't have a Presbyterian God. I don't believe in any of those things. I believe that there is a higher power. For now, I'm calling him God. Sometimes I'm pissed off at that person. I mean, at that being, and of course he gets a little mad at me sometimes. I think too, but shit, I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about?
We were
Water
talking
was
about
still.
you being.
You had a moment.
Yes, you're
So yeah, I was
genuine.
at sea, and so I remember the other time when I was in Israel, and we were staying in this hostel, and everybody else had gone, and I said, "No, you guys go and go. I'll stay here." And I walked down to the this dried up riverbed, and there's scorpions and some things under the rocks, and I kept walking and walking and walking. I'm like, I'm walking on the same ground that the people I read about in the Bible walked. I said, that's some amazing shit. And then maybe, I don't know, 100 yards or so, I ran into a Bedouin, oh God, can't think. Anyway, it was a man and a woman. They're called Bedouins. They live in the desert. And I have no idea what he was saying to me. He doesn't know what I was saying to him. But I just acknowledged him. He acknowledged me. That maybe another half a mile or so down the riverbed, I ran into what I thought was this black guy. And he was robed up in the whole nine. I'm like, hey, what's going on? He said, hey, I'm good.
Well, that was easy.
I'm like, hey. I'm like, where are you from? I said, I'm from Chicago.
I knew you were gonna say that.
What? He was a part of the Hebrew Israelites.
Oh, word up!
Yeah.
He was a Hebrew Israelite.
Israelite,
I know
yeah.
that's right. Yo, you got to see that shit on Viceland. There's a whole situation.
Yeah,
with it.
no.
Go ahead. It's
I
very interesting.
went to the camp. I met a lot of people there. Blah blah blah. But my point in bringing all this up is that I didn't have to experience a ton of things for me to say, okay, I get it. I only had to experience 2, maybe 3 things. I'm like, okay, fine. You know something? I get it. So could I have taken a route that made me a ton of money? Yeah, but I didn't. I don't make a ton of money now. My money comes in spurts. You know what I mean? So one month I may make $25,000. 4 months down the road, when I'm screaming, I may get another check in for 8,000. It doesn't come in as frequently as I like, but it is what it is. But I've learned over time to, really, guys, to be humble and grateful for whatever the hell you got. I'm when I quote unquote bring somebody into the fold, I am a fierce fighter for them. Like you guys are in the fold. I will fight the shit out of somebody. Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know y'all ain't, like, sitting next. Steve ain't no slouch. Steve about 6'12". Okay? We'll slap your ass to sleep. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay.
We definitely know we're in good hands. And I have
Okay.
to say, even before you reached back and said, hey, would y'all be interested in doing a show with us? We came away just hype. Like,
Yeah.
man, that was awesome. And just your energy and your presence.
Yeah.
It preceded you. And then to share that time with you and Lynn Sun on your show, just it was confirmation that there were other things in the makings for us. Like, that was not going to be the last time
Exactly.
that we
Exactly.
encountered each other. I had an inkling of an idea that it was going to be like this.
But you did. Like, you don't do that. Don't be modest smell like this one right here. But you did. You were like, we like, you is a damn mole, man. We didn't know. Had we known, we would have acted accordingly. But you know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad.
I'm saying, like, I don't know, like, not even to change to deviate, but really, I think people put a lot of their identity into the positions that they hold, right?
Oh, for sure.
And when that's gone, they don't know how to pick up the pieces. And they perpetuate this archetype that doesn't really, it's a fallacy, just like we were talking about,
Right.
where you have to be tethered to this job to be somebody, or tethered to this position to be somebody.
Right.
But, I'm actually refreshed that you didn't do that. And that you just made us feel like we were at home. Like, no, like, I feel what you're saying. And, you just held space for us. And I think that that's just really important. We appreciate that a whole lot.
You are welcome 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
1,000 times over. Seriously.
We appreciate you. But I want to ask a question. Though.
What's that?
I want to ask a question, Steve. And that is, I know you did the Navy.
Yep.
I know you said you grew up in Gaston County, like you always want to do filmmaking and stuff like that. But can you tell us about your biggest flop? What would you consider? You thought it was a good idea, but it turned out to be like the worst idea, the biggest flop in your history.
Oh, wow. Ooh. Here's the thing. I don't know that I have one.
I like that.
Because, like I was saying before, the easiest thing to do is to give up. And I've never given up. So even when this business was not doing well, let me clarify. When Rutherford Media was not doing well, even though I just said, screw it, let me just start looking for a job. Nothing ever came through. I still never let it go. It wasn't like I wrote the state and said, hey, let me go and dissolve this damn business. Screw this shit. No. I'll show you. No. I didn't, I didn't do any of that. Listen, don't get me wrong. I sold off a lot of stuff with the business.
Respect.
But I just couldn't let it go. I'm like, something is still there. And lo and behold, it's been working out so far. Well, over the last couple of months, it's been working out really well.
So no flops.
No,
We're going to pull up some Toxic Avenger movies in your past. None of that. Swamp Thing.
No.
That's what's up.
No.
Well, and sometimes I think too, when you've had what feels like a full life or career in one vein,
Right.
and then you get this calling and it's telling you to go in a completely different direction,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay.
Right.
With no guide, no roadmap, no mentor. You're just trying to figure it out, and you're walking on faith. And then, you do. Nothing starts off as this whimsical fantasy. You have to first invest into that dream or that purpose.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you have to streamline, and you do have to sell things off. You have to get creative. You have to
Exactly.
reinvent yourself. You have
Yep.
to ask for help. You have to be vulnerable, and
Oh,
in the
yeah.
midst of that, still believe that what you're doing is what you're supposed to be. And I mean, I know that firsthand. Truly, even down to just sending my resume out, and I know I got skills. I know I can put people to work. With my eyes closed, but that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
And just even with that, I mean, like when something's inherently in you, you're gonna find space to do it.
Yeah.
I am in the doldrums of corporate America. Please believe that. But because I'm a writer by nature, if I can't do nothing else, if you
Right.
just hobbled me in every way possible, I know that I can write. I know I got bars for days, and so I find opportunities to do that because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like one of those stories when you hear about people who were separated at birth or something, but they were doing the exact same thing like 500 miles apart.
Right.
When something's in you to do
Right,
it,
right.
you just can't help but to
Yeah,
do it. So
that's true.
I feel the same way just about just pursuing your passion. And so even with that though, when there was some questions about being able to keep the lights on, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Like what pushed you forward? What propelled you to just keep doing this? Like did you see an end game, so to speak? Tell me about that.
Okay. So two separate things. Rutherford Media, Square Media. So Rutherford Media was definitely not doing well. I'm like, okay, something's got to give. I still believed in it, wanted it to work. I still made these cold calls. Hey, do you need so and so? Those kinds of things. But again, Square Media, after January, in my view now, began to pick up, and I begin to see a light. I'm like, this could possibly work into something. I could possibly, and that's where the idea of a network kind of solidified. No, there's no money initially. But I know that if I continue to build, everybody's going to get paid. You know what I mean? That's what's important. So when things are not going well, listen, my wife is fucking amazing.
I love it. Hello.
Amazing. I mean,
Your props where props is due.
my black ass would not be where I am right now because of that woman right there.
Love it.
Yeah, she and listen, I like I said at the top of this show, I've had a relationship with 2 or 3, but this is the first one where she showed me exactly what a wife is.
Word. I felt
I'm
that
like,
in my spirit.
damn.
When you said that,
Yeah.
I felt that in my spirit.
A mate, a helper, a
Yes.
partner.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When things are not going well, I mean, it wasn't even, no, it was like that. She basically took the rope and ran with it. She's like, I got you. I'm like, oh, okay. And so she would say things like, hey, you want to go to, I'll just say the Bahamas again. I'm like, I have no fucking money to go to the Bahamas. Don't worry about it.
Word.
I'm like, okay.
Word. That's good looking.
So, listen, my hats are off to anybody who's in the corporate arena, and that's what they say that they like. But I will tell you what I don't like, though, is those folks who are entrepreneurs and they're trying to get their services or business into the corporate arena, but people who look like us won't give them the time of day.
Listen.
Don't like it. Hate it.
Can you, let's just slow that down one time for the one time. People who look like us don't do what?
They will not give us the time of day.
Because why? They feel like that there's only room for one at the top, or like.
There's a number of reasons why. It could be that. It could be, I don't think I don't know that you're good enough to do this. I don't know that I can trust you. I don't know that. Honestly, all of that goes back to this. I think you and I talked about this stuff, but this thing called, not hyper, is it hypergenetics?
Oh, epigenetics.
Epigenetics. It goes way, way, way back to those kinds of things. And so it's so deep that we can't even understand why we do the stuff that we do.
Yeah.
So, for me, after a while, I just I turned that switch off, and just kept doing what I knew that I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think the work that we produce on the RMG side is phenomenal work. We use fiber cable, we use all this high-end shit, and at the end of the day, it works out really, really well. But if I don't know what it is, but I've got this affinity to help out black colleges.
Teach one.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the whole Benedict thing worked out because with them, somebody had flopped last year at their graduation. Their vendor just did not do a good job.
Wow.
And don't get me wrong, they waited to the last minute to call me, and I said, fine, let me see if I can pull some things together. And I was, and it worked out extremely well. But that's I don't know why we don't give each other a chance at stuff. Listen, if you were to look at the crew, any of the crews that I pull together, them shits look like Africa.
Elaborate, expound, please.
Well, I purposely try to find as many people of color to work on my crew as possible.
Word.
Period. Let me think about this for a second. Yeah, they have all been people of color, or slash female, or whatever you want to call it.
Much appreciated.
So I'm very purposeful when it comes to that kind of thing. But what ticks me off, though, a lot of things do.
Yo, let's hear them. We want to know what grinds your gears. What grinds
Well,
your gears?
for instance, when schools, for instance, will continue to use a company where they know that the owner is, is a damn Trump supporter, but you're going to continue to float that dude checks, and you're okay with that, but you won't float me checks. Something's wrong with that, and I don't like it at all. So I've always been pretty vocal when it comes to those kinds of things. Some people have said, Steve, sometimes you can be a little vocal and people don't want to hear that. I'm like, so honestly, dude, I've been through enough shit that I don't give a damn if they hear it or not. Honestly, I mean, if you want to use me, then use me. If you don't want to hire me, don't hire me. But bottom line is you're going to get a fantastic service, great product, so forth and so on. So, yeah, I don't, and honestly, the older I become,
Yep.
I just want to say, really, I just don't give a damn.
Ain't no
Hello.
filter. Yeah.
Come on now.
I have earned the privilege to say what I want.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I give two shits about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, I saw something like, it was a documentary with like Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and it was
Right.
talking about like stress and how it was like killing people. But I just think about how high stress our environment, our society is today, you
Right.
know? I mean, because we do multitask and take on a lot of things, and it sounds like
Everything.
it sounds like that's what you're doing too, but the difference is you're doing things that you're passionate about, things that you love. So
Yeah.
you have, instead of somebody having like a job, you have a lot of passion projects. We better hurry up because we're checking the time.
No.
But-
No. I thought it was, no.
But
I thought somebody was at the door.
But I see that you have a lot of passion projects, but how do you maintain, I guess, the stress factor? I know that you said that there was a way for you to kind of mitigate the feelings that you may have about not being successful, because success to you is doing what you love.
Right.
But so how do you mitigate stress when maybe things aren't
Well, here's the thing.
Balancing out.
At some point, you reach a point where, and you realize you can't concern yourself or worry about everything. Can't do it.
I dig
Yes.
that.
It ain't. It doesn't do any good to worry about everything.
I don't think that happens overnight either.
No.
That's a process that you have to go through and be okay with, and then get to a point where he like, the hell with this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm the captain of my ship, and I'm going to decide what I give
Yeah.
energy to and what I don't.
Yeah,
I like that.
Exactly. And that's basically the way it is. I'm not going to listen. My focus is this network. This is no shit. This is number one. This network is number one. Number two is Rutherford Media. And if I can make those two work, I'm happy. I am so damn happy. I mean, I try to make something happen visually that you guys see every time you walk into the space.
You do.
So, and that's important to me. Like some of the ideas that I've got, I shared it with you guys already, but one was about, what was that idea? About, about having show after show after show. And I've already started writing that thing down. I just want to go ahead and do it. But the other thing, which I think I shared this with you, is to have all of our shows at oh yeah, I did, at some big event, right?
Yes.
But we're all three live
Yes.
at whatever this event is.
Yes.
And we're talking to, I don't know, whoever the people are there. But I want to do something like that. One, to kind of show people this network does exist. Two, we talk about relevant shit all the time. Three, you can sit your behind down and grab a mic and talk about the things that concern you at that show. Let's talk about it. So, and I don't know if you guys saw it when you were coming in, but I have a QR code on the door now.
Oh, we
Yes.
saw
Oh,
it.
we saw
Scan
it.
and
Yeah.
go to your Facebook page.
Exactly.
Lamos.
So each one of us would have like a QR code at our table, and you could scan that, and that would take you to the live show.
Word.
Yeah.
Dope. I like that.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
You know what else though, Steve?
What's that?
I feel like
Drop that knowledge. Drop that
Oh,
knowledge,
Jesus.
KD.
I've been seeing the frequency of our show increasing.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because last Monday I was in my car around about the time I would normally make my way to Gastonia, and I was thinking I should be going to tape a show. No, that's
Yeah.
next week, but soon.
And that people are
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah.
People are listening.
They are.
I've had just the amount of people who have reached out to us who want to come on the show, or people who want to make a contribution. You know, make a contribution to the show. Just like,
That's coming, by the way.
Oh, good.
oh,
That's
alrighty.
coming.
Okay.
Yes.
That
but
is coming.
I can dig it, you know. And I mean, I think that you kind of like set the groundwork with us, you know, just putting out positive energy because that's
Right.
what we're receiving also.
Yes. And just
Talk about it. I
just
feel it.
Quality and organization. I mean, again, and I know that we've touched on this so many times, but when we entered the podcast contest, you know,
Oh.
we went into that thinking, okay, we may get to kind of halfway skim over the topics that we want to talk about, but to walk through your door and have equipment ready, a platform ready, a backdrop ready, you as a phenomenal supportive mentor ready.
Yeah.
Ain't no mistake about
Yeah,
that.
no,
That
Right,
was
right.
divine.
It
And the
was.
timing was divine. And it has been, it's been just like my mind is still blown when I think about just how all of that came to fruition
Yeah.
and was seamless. And I mean, I think there's people who were in the contest with us still ain't got a show.
Oh, absolutely not.
And we
No.
in this thing like yin yang.
Yeah, right.
We're you gang in this thing.
Hey, sorry, not sorry.
Not me either.
Yeah.
Right.
But we already knew. Listen, we already knew that we were not that PodQuest
The
material.
atypical.
Right.
Because we
Yeah.
had to fit inside this box. Everything had
Yeah.
to be neat. Like,
Yeah.
please provide us your thesis, your outline. We're going to need 2 pints of your blood, and we're also going to know. We're going to need to know you know, what
Yeah.
your firstborn, pound of your flesh also. They needed all of this information from us. But
Right.
like when we came in here, you said that you kind of saw a light in us. And you were like, yo, this is good. We saw a light in here. We felt like completely at home. I think that was the longest podcast that we had ever done.
Although the very first one.
Yeah. But
yeah.
just being able to talk about, and you know, we both have, you know, some media in our background, but just the ease with which we were able to just navigate that
Right.
those three topics
Yeah.
and the way that you led us through all of that.
Oh,
And
sorry,
then
it was
asked
3
us-
topics,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
And then asked us, and you had done your research. Listen, y'all, if y'all don't know, like, Steve Rutherford is like the professional now. You know, he like the equalizer for real. He gonna bring you on the show. You know what I'm saying? And like, he is gonna do his homework. He's going to, you know, be genuinely interested in what you have to say. You know, and
Yeah.
of course, you know, and what I feel admitting is that you are a lifelong learner, which we all should be, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So there's always something that we don't know. So I feel like we're always learning through the project. He provides very good commentary, and he has very insightful guests on the show. But I said all that to say that we appreciate you providing us with an outlet to just, you know, instead of like coloring outside the lines, there are no lines.
right.
You know, again, it's not the spoon that bends, it is you who bends. That's what I feel like when I came to Square Media Network. So I know that you've got some visions, right? Some visions about Square Media. If you could give us to take my co-host term, a synopsis of your vision, what would you want? What is your vision for Square Media? What type of programming do you want to see that is running concurrently on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week basis?
Well, you've got these 3 shows. There's got to be some. I want to have a show. I've already named the show. It's called The Bottom,
Oh,
and but I wanted to get a really fierce female, almost like a Joy Reid from MSNBC, on that show, and she
Okay.
could talk about. It's really commentary news of the day. Most of the things that come to my brain are not scripted shows. That'll probably come later. But I want people to talk off the cuff. I want them to be true to what they're talking about and let people know how they feel about it. So I want a show like that. There's another show called Caregiver. That deals with people who have ever been a caregiver. Like you have to take care of your elderly parents, your perhaps your sick husband. I mean, it is a huge undertaking. But so anyway, I'm looking for somebody that probably has maybe a master's in social work that can talk about those things. But at the end of the day, the network is about having these phenomenal shows. There may be something sports. I'm not a big sports guy, so I don't know that there's going to be something about sports. I don't know, maybe. But I want this to really resonate with issues that we should be concerned about. So many times, I mean, it's about fashion, it's about the damn Kardashians, it's about whatever it is of the day. I'm like, listen, this is the shit you need to be concerned about right here. So another area that and you kind of brought it up already is about funding. I've already started, I haven't completed it yet, but a Kickstarter page. I want to get that thing up and running. And the another thing that I do like about WFAE is their what do they call it? They're funded by the public essentially.
oh yeah.
So they do their campaigns. It will be a little bit harder for us to do, I think, because we're not broadcasting out on the airwaves. But I want to have some type of campaign where we're raising funds to elevate the network. Listen, I don't want this. I think this where we are right now is a great start. I don't want to continue to be here. In a year, I want to be someplace. In fact, JC said that on your show.
He did.
Yeah, he sure did.
He did.
But I want to be someplace else. My goal is to be someplace else, probably somewhere in Charlotte. But it just depends.
I mean, but did you know she had already claimed that for you before we even got here.
Oh,
I promise you, that's what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Call me now.
For your free psychic reading.
Madam Crystal, I get all the answers, man.
Tell me, child.
$20 a minute.
oh my God. Oh, jeez. Oh my God.
I be knowing. I do.
You be knowing.
I be
You
knowing.
I be
yo.
knowing.
I be knowing.
I like it.
Or you been new. You been
I've been new.
You been
Okay,
new.
I think I be knowing is Amanda Seals. Yes. Yes. I've been new.
Yo, she called that. She claimed that for you though. That you
Wow.
were gonna have a space in Charlotte also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the second or third time that she said it, but she said it when we were on our way down here.
Oh, today.
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 Before we got here. Yo, there have been so many coincidences with her and with myself. Just today, seeing angel numbers, repetitive numbers or just
Right,
things
right.
that just were divinely ordained that just happened. And so I really believe that just like putting energy and like belief into that.
Yeah.
Like just like what we even here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
All of
I'm-
us.
I'm
This
with
was
you.
kismet, straight
Yes.
kismet
Right.
while we're here today.
Right.
Yes.
So, and then it's coincidental that Lynn Sun Rising, of all the shows that we've done,
Yes.
decided to show up today.
Yeah.
Just bringing in that extra good
Yeah.
energy.
You know,
Yeah.
it's
Confirmation.
confirmation. It is because none of this would be possible without her. I need that to be said. It's like when you meet the plug. You got your plug. You got, just like Malcolm Gladwell said, you got your different people who hold different spaces,
Right.
like your maven, your connector.
Yep.
And Lynn Sun is most definitely a connector. Like if she doesn't know the person, she knows somebody who knows somebody.
Exactly.
Who can get you to where you need
Yep.
to be.
Yes.
So, I mean, this was all like a beautiful divination,
Yes.
if you will.
Well, listen, I agree with you. I do. And when I was developing the Kickstarter page, something like that, it scared me a little bit. I'm like, wow, I'm actually doing this, is what I
Yeah.
said. And I haven't launched it yet, but I'm going to get it out there and see what happens. But I want us to be in a situation where we have our own building. You see Square Media when you roll up, and you guys, you walk. This is your show. You have your. I mean, that's my vision for this network. What? You said that too?
Can I have a robe with my name on it?
Okay. All right.
I mean, why we putting stuff in the atmosphere?
With a hood on it.
You-
Preferably with a hood on it.
And
You
fur
said-
trim.
Right?
And rhinestones, because my name is Crystal.
If that's what you
Yeah,
desire, yes.
Playing 99 problems and shit in the background.
But it sure ain't one.
That's right. That's exactly right. Oh,
I'm
God.
so sorry. I couldn't help it.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it was,
fine. It's fine. I'm not joking when I talk about this 24/7 broadcast. I mean, it's when you, like, for instance, when you turn on CNN or MSNBC, you have what CNN is Don Lemon and so forth and so on. So he has his own show. It will eventually get to that point where we begin to look like that. So, but it'll be really raw, really organic, whatever you want to call it.
I like it.
Yeah, heck yeah. I'm telling you guys, that is my vision for this whole damn thing.
I can see. You know what? Just like internally, I'm cracking up right now because I just imagine Tennille doing current events.
Yo, like, let me tell you about this shit that happened today, y'all. Y'all ready? Peep the scene.
The market just dropped. Pull your money out. There's panic everywhere.
Oh my God.
Just,
Yo, for real.
but how dope would that be to be a credible news source where it's like, okay, CNN is saying this, but you know what? Let me come on over to Square.
Let me give you
know
the
what?
layman.
That's
The
my
layman.
Sure.
exactly.
Right. What do people say?
Yo, for real.
Do I
'Cause
need
we
to
the
run?
people's champ out in this bitch.
Do we need to
Well-
run or just bolt up the doors?
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, y'all.
What's up?
Eventually, candidates running for president will want to be on our town hall.
True that.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
true.
Because-
Claim it. You didn't just spoke it. It's happening now.
Influence.
Yeah, they will want to
Influence.
be on this network, on
Yes.
this town hall that we're going to provide, or whatever the thing is. So,
Y'all
And
hear
guess
that?
what? They gonna get grilled on this open flame.
Yo,
well,
flambéed out this motherfucker
Okay.
like a baked Alaska.
get grilled.
That's
You
right.
know, I'm not
right.
sorry about it.
You know what I'd like to see too.
What's up?
Is I mean, I don't know if we'll have time for, or if we can capture that, but just almost like a live component too, where we're able to interact with the people as they're watching.
In your audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't? I mean, yeah, you
that
could
would be
for
cool.
sure.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it really would.
You know, and really make it interactive. I mean, I think that I loved the fact, and I told this to Tennille when we came up with the concept for our podcast. I thought it was extremely important that we had a visual component because of our personalities.
Right.
And I think that allows people to be drawn in and feel like they're actually sitting here with us having
Yeah.
the discussion, the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think that that's next level, is to incorporate social media into it
Yep,
and
yep.
be able to interact live with people as well, especially if we're rolling back to back with different shows.
I like that.
And as some of the
Right.
guests come on,
Yep.
if they're bunny hopping from one
Yeah.
show to the next, and we're asking them different questions and stuff, it's like, all right, guys, what do you want to, Oh, we have a question from Rico. Suave.
Suave-la-dee.
That's right. What is your question, Rico? Rico
Yeah,
wants
so
to know
what's
X,
your
Y, and Z.
questionnaires?
Yeah, but I think that would be just, another level of connectivity that you can't
It
get
would. Yep, for sure.
on like a CNN.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
No.
I think because we keep it funky at all times. That's what I like about just being here. You give us a platform to keep it funky at all times, because even just with the previous shows that we've had, right? We're asking like depressing questions. Everybody has a dream.
Right.
Everybody got a dream, but it's how to execute this dream. It's kind of like that Langston Hughes poems. What happens to a dream deferred? What happens to it? You know, we want to know. So we got people here who can tell you what the fuck happens if you don't do shit with it.
Yep,
So I mean,
exactly.
and these are real people doing real shit. You know, my co-host is doing real shit, following her passion. Lynn Sun Rising, following her passion. All you gotta do is say yes, like my co-host said, and Floetry did too.
Floetry did too.
You know, it's like, but we need to know that just to keep going, just to keep moving.
Yep.
And Square Media allows us the opportunity to do that.
It does.
But apparently we bored Steve to death because he's playing Bejeweled on his phone.
That is not true.
He is
I'm
not
sorry,
playing
it's Diner.
Bejeweled.
It's
I'm
Diner Dash. I'm sorry.
I'm looking to see who's chatting, if
He's
anybody.
checking the numbers. See,
Oh,
I like that.
word.
Oh,
Word.
so in that case, tune in. Hit us up.
Yeah.
If you're watching.
Jerome Fleming.
Oh, hey, Jerome.
Oh, what up, Jerome?
That's my
He
fo-
was here.
that's my
last,
fifth
he was-
cousin.
Yeah, he was here on our last
Oh.
show. Yeah. That's who was here the last time.
Oh,
That's my
Jerome.
fifth cousin.
Yeah, see, so if you just hit us up in the comments, we'll shout you out. Maybe we might say something. We might just happen upon your comment and shout you out, or even pick you to be on the show. You know, like, we're always looking for some new, fresh guests, you know, and I mean, we got our own wheelhouses.
That's true.
Me being a liberal artist, her being a liberal artist as well, you
Can't
know,
hurt to
but still,
diversify.
there are things
Can't
that
hurt
we
to
want to be
diversify.
lifelong learners, and there are things that we want to know. So please hit us up if you're interested. We got to be an expert, though. We won't be dealing with no ghouls.
Ooh.
What's a
ghouls.
ghoul to a goblin? But
Did you just quote Lil Wayne?
you know I did. But anyway,
So-
go ahead, Katie.
I was just
My
going to say,
bus.
Brother Steve, so in terms of you telling your story, telling your truth,
Mm-hmm.
the lineup that you currently have right now,
Mm-hmm.
in the immediate future, I know you talked about some more shows coming. How soon can we expect to see those roll out?
Well, I've started communication with finding two hosts. One is an attorney, and the other person is like I don't know, they're a business person or something. I forgot what it is, but it doesn't matter. I'd like to have the attorney here. She's apparently wide open and wants to talk about, I don't know, lots of different things. So, yeah, I, if people come to me with a really good show idea, I'm not opposed to trying it. And I've already had two people come here to kind of pitch their show, but they didn't do too well.
Oh.
But here's the thing. See, when you sit down and you put the headsets on and you begin to talk, you find out real quickly if you can or cannot do this. Because here's the question. I always ask people, can you float a show? Can you carry a show yourself, by yourself, minimally for 15 minutes? And most of them, they said, well, probably not. I'm like, you probably can't do it. You got to be, listen, I think one of my first shows, I carried the whole thing for like 45 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
I
By
was talking
yourself.
some shit, boy. I'm like, damn.
Kicking up dust.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But
45
but
minutes.
here's the
Okay,
thing.
okay.
You
okay,
two could
okay.
do that easily.
Thank you.
You know, that's what I'm saying. But my point is, if you're coming to me and you're a single person, and there's no co-host with you, I want to know that you can carry the show easily for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Easily. With I don't want to hear a bunch of uhs and like no, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
I want to hear context. I want to hear. Sorry, I just don't. I don't. But I would love to have a show that talks about religion too.
I can dig it.
You
Like
know-
dogmatic religious show, or just an agnostic, or like what kind of religious show? Not like that dude who be selling prayer cloths on BET, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's got to be good.
Or
prayer
Reverend
quality.
X.
What? What?
Reverend X.
Oh,
You
yes.
know about to do that on this shit.
I
shit.
like it.
He had the Chinaman braid. He was crip walking. If you don't know about Reverend X, get your life.
Gotta
God.
love that.
Oh my God! But okay, you said a show about religion. Is this
Yeah, but
like a
here's-
survey of all religions?
Well, here's the
type
deal.
show? Okay.
I'd like to have somebody, and I've reached out to a couple of people that are PhDs in religion at UNCC. I ain't heard back from them yet. But I want somebody at that level that can speak to me or speak to the audience about what they have learned from their studies. Okay, God is one thing, but what is God really? Oh, well, really, God is, and whatever they're going to say. Are all the religions teaching the same thing, or is one bad, is one good? Fundamentally, they're all teaching love. Okay, fine. Can we go with that? Yes, but unfortunately, the Bible and everything else is left up to interpretation. So you get all these screwed up people thinking certain things, and it doesn't typically work out. So I'd love to get somebody on the show that can talk about it from that perspective. Listen, I'd love to get Bishop so-and-so on the show and be able to, I would love for that person to be able to tell me what he or she knows about the Bible. And I said, I never thought about it that way. I'm not saying I would say that just because. I mean, I would really want somebody to be definitive in what they're talking about and lay something on me that I just was not thinking about. Don't get me wrong. I don't go to church. I haven't been in church in a long, long time. But my walk has been a tremendous walk.
In heaven, your steps been ordered.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Listen, here's the thing.
I know when you say that, you about
Here's
to say
the thing.
something.
Yeah.
I be like, get out your
Yep.
pad and pencil.
I always lean in with my listening ear.
And ordinarily, this will be $39.95. However, he gonna bless you with the free psychic reading. Go ahead.
You're throwing me off. I'm getting too old now. I get thrown out real easy.
KD started it.
I think. I forgot what the fuck I was going to say.
Oh goddamn! I'm sorry, man. But you
so-
were saying that your steps. She said hadn't your steps
Yeah.
been ordered, and you said here's the thing. You was getting ready to drop. I
Yeah.
guess how
Yeah.
divinely ordered your steps been.
Here's the thing about the Bible and all those things. The Bible for me is a form of control. Now, Do we need control? Sure. I mean, can't everybody just running around loose and doing whatever the hell they want to do and so forth and so on. But I also believe that everybody else wants the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be treated well, treated nicely, treated whatever. I just and I think a lot of the churches, they go off on a tangent, teaching their own thing, whatever the hell that is. And I just think it's wrong and stupid. Listen, here's something else. I think there should be a time people go to church. Then after that, you stop going to church. Okay, when you reach 38, no more church.
I mean, I feel that's something. Yo.
You know what I mean? Because at that point, get your ass out there and do what the Bible says
Yeah.
you're supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Or whatever the age is, but
I feel you. Don't be retarded, and I don't mean that in the derogatory, defamatory sense, but
Right.
like an arrested development about church. Because, in my adulthood, it's like when you're enlightened, like you can't unsee shit, right?
right.
So when you go to church, you are using critical analysis, deductive reasoning, and you're like, this shit don't really make sense,
Right.
and they probably need to get out of here. So it's
Right.
like, and I think that the one pivotal point for me when I stopped going to church was, and don't get me wrong, I believe in a divine being, like you
Sure.
said, when the water was so still like glass, how you
Yeah.
was like, this has to be like
Yeah.
a supreme being. I even think about that with like, how come I have why do my teeth look, what are teeth? Like when you think about different things.
Right.
But I think that what was a turning point for me was when I went to church with someone that I knew who worked at the same place that we worked at. And she was a recovering drug addict.
Right.
She was a recovering drug addict, and she went to church. The people at church helped her get off drugs, which I
Okay.
thought was amazing,
Right.
just their support.
Sure.
But she hadn't been in a while, and her guilt for not having gone to church caused her to feel compelled to put something in the offering plate. But she didn't have it, right?
Right.
So she wrote a bad check that she was going to cover, but like come Monday, but I just was totally mortified by that whole experience. And then while I was there, we're having church in this new church that's next to this other big ass church that's being unused because you're going to use it for some other purposes. But
Right.
they were buying the pastor, a new vehicle. And this was like a luxury vehicle. And I'm like, damn, I don't even have a luxury vehicle. Like,
Right.
what the fuck is this? And I'm like, how is it that the pastor is driving a luxury vehicle and the person who has come to really adore him is writing bad checks to be here?
Yeah.
I just could not understand that. And then I'm like, well, if we're going off of biblical terms, I'm like, didn't Jesus preach his word just by walking the land with like his disciples? Like, he didn't get no compensation for that. Like, how do you put compensation on? And I'm not trying to like soil my reputation with the heretics out here, but I just want to know how any of this is. I guess I have a problem with organized religion.
Right,
you can't tell
right.
me who God is to me.
Right.
You can't tell me that. Does
Right,
that even
right.
exist? This shit is totally subjective.
Right.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
This is your show. And I'm just talking.
No, it ain't my show. I'm on your show.
Oh, you right. It is our show. We got a show, y'all. That's right.
Yep.
There's
It is
a media opening for a new co-host. Feel free to apply at Square Media Network. I'm kidding.
she wrote herself off.
Yo, for real though. But I was just feeling the spirit, y'all. I'm sorry, I got a little
Yeah, it
moved.
was on your heart.
It was. I had to let that be known in case somebody else had questions just like me, because it's all right to question shit. And people
Yes,
told you
it
not
is.
to ask any
Yes.
questions about like religion and your dreams and shit like that. So I get
I think about that little fake hymnal that you like to don't ask.
no
Oh, boy.
questions.
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
Because you're not supposed to.
Yo, you are not
You're not
supposed to ask
supposed
any
to.
questions and then
Wait.
it's
What do you mean?
I mean, from a religious standpoint, have you not, and maybe in your household it was different, but just, you know, from the place that I came from,
Oh,
it was like
the whole thing
ask-
of don't ask,
don't ask,
don't
don't
question
question
God.
anything. You know, even
Yeah,
if this shit
that's-
don't make sense, don't ask no questions.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, but it's crazy.
It is. It most definitely is.
Yes.
So,
Wow.
Yes.
yeah, a little crazy, but
That's a whole nother rabbit hole we can.
Yes, it is.
Go
It is.
down.
It is show worthy though. It is.
Oh, for
'cause
sure.
It would,
Yeah.
It would just keep. There's so many perspectives and angles on that.
Yeah.
I almost had somebody. She's a minister. I got to reach out to her again too. She wants to do that. But yeah, I definitely want to listen. You can take religion and run that show till the wheels fall off. Because there's always something. But again, I do have a strong belief that people. It's like when you go to school, go to college. It's 4 years and you're done with it. Maybe get your master's, a couple of years, you're done with it. You get your PhD, maybe 3 or 4 years after that, you're done with it. Okay, well, read the Bible and then you're done with it in about 3 years. How about that? You know, that's just my view. But I just don't think people get out enough. They don't explore enough. They don't see enough. They don't experience enough. So they get caught up into what they listen. I'm not condemning the Bible at all. Please don't believe that I am, because I am not. But I think that people become, I don't want to say addicted to it. Well, sometimes they do.
yeah, this is an addiction.
Yeah.
I think you said it right and in a way that it hadn't been said before. This is an addiction because it induces panic if you don't follow these edicts about
It can.
following the letter of the law
Yeah,
with
that's true.
religion. You know, like you're going to burn
Yeah.
in hell. Yo,
Yeah.
that's some severe consequences.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel you, though. You was on the right track.
Yeah. But what if I told everybody that you're not going to burn in hell?
Yo.
You know what's funny? So I messed around and stumbled across a video the other week, and it was some Hasidic Jews.
Right.
And I didn't know anything about them. I didn't know that there were different sects within
Right.
Judaism or whatnot. But I was watching this interview, and it was like 4 of them escaped their compound in the middle of New York City, and
Interesting.
they wanted to live their own lives.
Right.
And the turning point for one young man at 21, he left out of the protected area and went to the Museum of Natural Science and saw a dinosaur skeleton, and it blew his mind. He said,
Wow.
"What is this? How can this even be possible?"
Like the damn
Really?
village or something.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly. He had never, there was no word for recreation or gymnasium or exercise. Like, they live in
Wow.
this bubble, you know?
Control.
Yes.
And it's control. And so when the interviewer asked the rabbi, "So how do you explain this?" He said, "Well, you know, hey, we believe what we believe, and there's no need to exercise. We eat healthy.
What?
We read the Bible. We're good. We
Yeah.
don't, you know, we don't have a use for that word because it's not an active part of our daily lives." And so there are people who are indoctrinated in these constructs and don't explore, or when they do, they get a little taste of the rest of the world, or their worldview is no longer narrow.
Right.
It's
Right.
broadened.
Yep.
Then it's like, what else is it that I don't know that I haven't known,
Exactly.
you know?
That's exactly right.
I even think someone who's religious and has an affinity for the Bible can also find deeper understanding in hearing other conversations from people who believe different things. Because I think that at the end of the day, religion itself as an organized construct, it all came from the same place.
I
Right,
mean, and just
right.
like, what was it, Martin Luther who nailed those things to the door? You know, just like all of these things that, you know, we're not supposed to do. I mean, we're always told like what we're not supposed to do. I mean, and there was a big, you know, amalgamation of like church and state, you know,
Right.
hundreds of years ago.
Yep.
And so we're still living in that time frame, right? You know, because people don't want to talk about what was that the atheist lady who took prayer out of school to try to take prayer out of school, like how
Oh.
her and her fucking granddaughter and all them like got murdered and like, but nobody, this is like an unsolved mystery like 30, 40 years later, like
Oh,
they don't,
really?
nobody, yeah, man.
Oh.
Like, but it's like, you know, and then even with me driving to work every day, I see like picket protesters in front of like abortion clinics and, you know, but using this in the name of God. And but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
how displaying mangled fetuses when children are passengers in their parents' cars is not a very good way to get your message across.
No.
I'm like, you know, just these images can't be unseen by these children. You know, just the fact of, like you were saying, how powerful religion is, and you know how it will corrupt you absolutely. Just by if you don't ask any questions, it is an instrument of control. And I don't like when religion is used in that way. Maybe that's why I'm not a part of organized religion. You know, if I meditate, take spiritual baths, chant, you know, whatever it is, talk to somebody. That's
Right.
my practice. That's not up for your judgment, and it's not up for you to say if it's right or wrong or not.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but I appreciate you, you know, just even bringing that up to let people know that their dreams can happen, you know, in whatever manner they decide to,
Oh, for sure.
you know, acknowledge their higher being.
Absolutely.
Word.
And that's the beauty of Square Media Network, to have
It's
a
so
platform.
beautiful.
It is.
It is come.
It is.
You get your chakras aligned
It
over
is.
here.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's the
Yes.
beauty of having that platform.
Yes,
Oh my
Liz
God.
Sun is snapping on that. She is our Reiki. That's one of the other. She's the Jane of all trades. She's a Reiki healer also. Interplay, all that. But she felt us, felt the spirit, and can attest to what we're saying. But with just on the vein, in the vein of Square Media, and finding out like how can somebody be down? I want to be down. How can they be down with you? What can they do?
Why don't they can reach out to you first.
Okay. Reach out to us. We are the DEUXLUXE podcast show.
Good luck.
Okay.
Because I'm going to just speak for myself. I fly by the seat of my pants. So,
We'll reach out to the DEUXLUXE podcast show. I'll be more than happy to check your
absolutely.
direct message.
There you go. We'll get to you.
I will say this: people have reached out to me on instant message, and again, if you have an idea, I'm more than welcome to listen to it. But you have to be dedicated to it. This show is twice a month. Yeah, twice a month. I believe that it'll probably increase, and when that increase happens, of course, the network is going to increase the whole 9 yards. But you know, if you think you have a really good idea, call me or instant message me, and so we can talk about it.
How do we get in touch with you?
Call me 704-488-6565.
Can you hit me that one time?
704-488-6565.
Oh, that's the real number.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the real. Just call me.
That's the bat phone.
I mean, it's on, on the bad phone.
And your office hours are?
Yeah.
I don't have any office hours.
Oh, okay. All right.
okay.
Yeah, it's if you want to call them my office hours, they're more like 8 a.m. until 6 or something like that.
Word.
But you know, I will say this: the we do offer the podcasting rental, yeah, and so people can come in, and the good thing about doing it here as opposed to like at the
Advent or somewhere like
yeah,
that.
something like
Not
that.
to disrespect Advent.
No, no.
disrespect.
Here, listen, we do this at least 5 to 6 times a month where we're going live on a podcast. 1 month we did it almost 30 times. Another month we did it almost 16, 17 times. So we're well versed in how to do podcasts. So if you have a question about it, you want to, come up and develop your own podcast, this is the place to come to and do that. If you already know what you want, just listen, $10 an hour.
That is nothing.
That's
you
on
will
the
blow
low.
that at the drive-through at Popeyes.
$10 an
on
hour.
a drunken night.
Yeah. That's,
I
I
ain't
mean, it's
lying.
it's audio only, but still, that's what a lot of people want. It's just audio only.
Yeah.
If you want to include like just a camera, we'll throw a camera in for $10.
Oh, okay.
It won't be
What
that
about-
camera, but
What about editing? Like, I know that
That's all completely separate. I think editing starts at about $45 an hour.
Okay.
Something like that.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
I think that's completely
Yeah.
reasonable.
The bottom line is, if you have a show idea and you wanted us to do it turnkey, we can do it here. If you want to just come and record it here, then walk out with your SD card, you can do that. So my point is, you don't have to go out and buy the microphones, the mixers, you don't have to buy anything. All of that gear is right here.
Like you said, one-stop shop.
Come to Death Row.
Come to Death Row. Come to Death Row. Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. But this is the place to come to for all that
Yes.
stuff, though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Man, we're lucky.
Yeah, we are.
We truly are. I mean, I can't express enough. Again, to just be under your tutelage.
No, you're
and
welcome.
I ain't gonna say it again.
Yeah. In order for y'all to get a piece of what we talking about, then you need to hit him up. Steve Rutherford. He is the host of the project that occurs on Square Media Network. That is every Thursday. Is it still every Thursday? Whenever the hell you feel like
It's
it.
whenever I feel like it.
Okay, whenever you feel like it. So
Yeah.
you're gonna have to just tune in when you tune in to get a piece.
Or
of
you
it.
need to subscribe.
Follow, yeah,
So that you get the
follow us.
alerts.
Right.
Follow
That's
us
true.
when we go
That's
live.
true.
DEUXLUXE podcast
Yes.
follows the project with Steve Rutherford, Square Media Network. Subscribe on YouTube,
Yep.
subscribe, or follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
We got Facebook pages. Anything, we like Visa. We're everywhere you want to be. One more time. So, I mean, you know how to find us. But if you want to be a part of this, we would specifically encourage you to be a part of Square Media Network, because it does offer you a platform where you have a voice, where you can be heard. You can also edify people about how to be their best selves and truly live their best lives. That's what I think. And maybe I'm partial because I'm a part of this, but you made space for us. Like I said, holding space for
Yeah.
us, which is something that is, it's kind of slim, right now. And so we're very thankful for that. But we want to thank you,
Yes.
Brother
You're
Steve
welcome.
Rutherford, for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on the show.
Absolutely. You are like our favorite guest. I know, because I know from whom my blessings come.
Hello.
Okay. Don't know about that one.
But anyway, because we're here today. So, the DEUXLUXE podcast. I am the Luxe Lisbon.
And I'm Katie Luxe.
And you can find us at the DEUXLUXE Podcast Show on Instagram through Square Media Network. We've also told you how to get in contact with our brother Steve Rutherford, but we want to thank you for taking the time to tune in and check us this evening.
Yes.
Are we done?
Yeah, let's
Wow.
be done.
Oh, you have
Wow.
more? You have more to go?
Oh no, I didn't know where you
Oh,
were.
look at that!
I didn't
You
know. I wasn't sure.
Look at that.
I wasn't sure.
You know, we're
Look at
trying to
that.
wrap it up. So we're gonna
Listen,
land.
let
We're
me
gonna
see.
land a plane. It's eight.
Listen, look at that, and that was an hour and a half shot.
That went
Yep.
quick.
That was an hour and a half shot. Look at that.
Yep.
See that? We all right.
I like it.
Snaps on the petrol, girl. Yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
That was good.
Thank you.
I think I told you guys this last time too. But what I've done or doing, I do like we always have this organic show open, so that's now on the video, and now we're having this a thing called after the show, which is what the phase
Yeah.
that we're in right now.
Yeah.
And so when I edit the video, have you seen the edited video that I put up?
Not
You
of
did
the
see it?
last show, but of the of other shows, yes.
Because of what I've done, I put text up. It says "getting ready for the show" or something like that. At the very
I
beginning.
didn't see that.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then when this show
word.
was over with, another text will come up and say, "after the show."
Word. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty. And in fact, you can go on YouTube, and it has what's called chapter markers on it. So if you want to go right to where the show begins, you click, the little timestamp. If you want to go to where it says after the show, you click that. It goes right to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
A lot.
Sophistication.
Yes.
Hey, we're getting there, man. We're doing it.
Using
I love
the
it.
noodle.
This is so
That's what I'm
good.
talking about. It was really good. Thank
So
you for
good.
sharing with us too.
No, you're
Yo,
wel-
but listen,
What?
President, El
Child.
Presidente.
Listen, I got to lean
Listen,
back.
You know
I
what
got
I'm
to lean
saying?
back.
I was like, what?
I got to lean back.
Who we working for?
Them secrets. That's an intelligence on
Yo,
the
I
side
know, right?
of things where you just don't disclose what you don't need to know.
Oh, it don't matter now.
You keep
We
it
was
secret.
like, what? We work for who? But yo, that's what's up. We appreciate you sharing. How long did you do that?
What the president?
President of the NAACP and the
United Negro College Fund.
UNCF, yes.
Yeah, it's like 3 years, something like that.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
That's a pretty powerful and important position to hold. I should ask you like how you came into. You know what? I gotta ask you now because we after the show.
After the show.
How did you come into like that position? Like, anyway, like were you a public speaker already, or like involved in the community?
No. Well, I involved myself with the NAACP a couple of years before that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to help them do some things, and I kind of rose up through the ranks, if you will. And the guy who was the former president said, "Hey man, y'all think about running for president?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm not from here," but because you really have to campaign, you have to do all of that stuff. Now, granted, they're with people who are only members of that branch, but you still have to campaign. So I campaigned, and I won.
Word.
Yeah.
I know that shit
It
felt
was
good.
it was amazing. Yeah.
I know.
It was in the paper and all
That's
that
what's
stuff.
up.
Yeah, it's in my office actually. All
That's
that
what's
stuff.
up.
Oh, you know something? I forgot about this stuff. Still got dust on it now.
Oh my God! Look at Steve with Al Roker, Matt Lauer, and Curry. Look at
Look at
that.
Ooh, with all that hair.
I know.
Them waves.
Look at Steve.
Oh my goodness.
It's back when I was in news, man.
Oh my
Go ahead.
goodness.
Steve, look at you. I know that's real, Steve.
Man, we should have had this facing the camera the whole time.
I was curious what this was.
I was looking
Oh
too.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking too.
I totally forgot about it.
I thought it was gonna be some gift cards or something.
Where you
Or
meet
some-
these people at? Were you?
see.
I know you were like.
Investigative team?
I went to New York, and because I was an employee of an NBC affiliate, they let me in.
Wait a minute, you used to have an earring?
Huh?
You used to have an earring?
I did. Yeah, I did.
I see it. I
Is
see
it
it.
in there?
It's on
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah,
I see
yeah.
it. That's what's
That
up.
was back when I was fat.
Right. Don't even recognize me
I
anymore.
know.
We should have had all of these front and center.
I was trying to holler at Katie at
Is it Ann Curry?
Yeah. She wasn't having it. I'm like, okay, thank you, Ann.
I mean, well, you have to shoot your shot.
I know. I did.
But you landed where you were supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ended up where you were supposed to be.
Listen, this is all. I think this is all good. I'm very happy where I am. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, we're just gonna keep on moving forward.
We are.
I think that I don't know. I've just had this feeling lately about somebody's gonna come forward and be a big donor.
I say we claim it.
Right.
I'm all here. I'm for it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's funny that you would say that too. So like today, I was on set for a web series, and just being in front of the camera and being comfortable. I have to say that even doing this show has taken that up a notch for me.
Right.
I don't get
Oh, good.
nervous.
Yeah.
I'm
Hey, listen, do me a favor. See that little box on top of the other box? Yeah, on the side, there's a on and off switch. Go ahead and cut that off for me. It's probably on the other side. Oh, you're fine.
He's so cute.
It's just a little toggle switch.
Is it like this? You think it's right here?
Yeah, it should say on and off.
I have very bad vision.
Well, no, it's not in the front. It's going to be on.
Start and stop.
No, not that. It's going to be on the side.
Side. I see like a little click, but does it say on and off?
Oh, just go ahead and turn that.